Hello everyone, my name is Hannah, and today I'll be doing a book review of The Book Thief by Markus Zusak. Now, as you all may already know, I have it right here. The Book Thief is very popular, it's very well known, and I just want to start this by saying that I fully believe it deserves all the hype it gets. I think it's very emotionally resonant. I think the author is able to establish his voice in a very specific and independent way. Um, One thing that you notice is that he uses a lot of like simplistic language throughout the entire book, yet it's able to hit very deeply emotionally, which I think is very admirable in a writer. So the basic plot of the book is that it follows alongside the story of a girl named Liesel, right? So Liesel is living in Nazi Germany during World War II, and in this time she's adopted by two foster parents. And whilst living with them, she ends up helping her foster mother with a lot of the household chores and the tasks and the jobs. And one day they're sent to clean a neighbor's house. And upon entering the house, Liesel discovers a whole library of books that the neighbor owns, right? And she ends up stealing one, which is obviously where the title of the book comes from. Liesel also ends up attending school and meeting a boy there, and she ends up establishing a better relationship with her foster mother and her foster father. And it kind of just tells the story of her navigating her way through her new life, basically. Now, one thing you end up discovering about Liesel's life is that her life is basically narrated by Death, right? The character of Death. And I was actually really surprised to find out that many people don't actually know this. But because of this, I think it does make the book a lot more emotionally resonant. One thing that I really liked about the book actually was the characters, and my favorite is probably Hans Huberman, which is her foster father. Hans Huberman is very gentle and kind, and alongside Liesel navigating through her new life, he's really supportive, and he basically teaches her how to read because she had previously been illiterate. Yeah, I think Hans Huberman is actually the character you end up getting emotionally attached to the most. And like most readers, I also really like the character of Max, the man that they had been hiding in their basement. Um, yeah, I think even early on into the book, or early on into Max living with them, you learn about how each time or through each interaction, Liesel's relationship with Max ends up being strengthened. And like I said at the beginning, throughout through really simple words, the author is able to establish this relationship without actually revealing too much at all. And one thing that also stands out is I think the author does a really good job of establishing that there is power behind words, basically. And I think that's his message throughout. So whilst Liesel is discovering a love for reading and she's improving her reading, and I think she also uses reading as an escape for everything that's going on around her, simultaneously, the author is able to paint the power of words through the perspective of the Nazis who kind of use words as a means of using propaganda and coercing people. Yeah, and I think whilst reading the book, you kind of already pick up a sense of what's going to happen. It's very emotionally hard hitting, and there was so many times I had to put the book down and kind of pause for a second. And like I said, because it's told from the perspective of Death, it's kind of already foreshadowing the end, but it ends up hitting way harder than you'd expect. But it's a beautiful book, really. I absolutely loved it. And also, I am someone who does get very attached to movies and books, and this is one of those books that will 100% make you cry. Like, but that's one of the reasons it's so incredible. I have seen a few discussion boards for this book, and one thing that I can agree on, if I had to pick out a criticism, was that the beginning is very slow, and it kind of makes you want to put it down because it kind of drags on. But once you get to the halfway point, then it's like it's incredible. And whilst you see her establish the deeper relationships with the characters, it becomes way better. Overall, would I recommend the book? Absolutely, 100%. I had first read it when I was like 17, a few years ago, and I reread it recently. And I remember telling everyone back then that it was my favorite book because it was so good. And even in present day, it hits just as hard emotionally. It's one of those books that you just don't really forget, really. And yeah, fully recommend. Out of 5, I think I'd probably give it 4.5 stars. mostly because of the writer's unique voice and also unique perspective, or like this method of telling the story through the character of death is really cool in my opinion. I mean, yeah, if you're one of those people that likes to get emotionally invested into books or movies, this is the right book for you. Also, The Kite Runner or A Thousand Splendid Suns by Khalid Hosseini, those are really, really good. If you enjoyed The Book Thief, you'll enjoy those. If you end up enjoying The Book Thief, one book I'd also recommend is All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. That's another really beautiful book. Or a really obvious one is The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. That's emotionally hard hitting as well. But yeah, that's my review of The Book Thief. Do check it out, and if you end up enjoying it, do let me know. Thank you for watching.